nothing to eat. When it started to snow, you used to catch the snow and you drank it. And somehow that S-man, whenever he went off, they changed the shift, they went someplace to eat, in a wagon or what, I don't know. He came back and he always shoved me a sandwich. I didn't ask what's on it or what I ate. And even sometimes he had a snowball and he shoved it in and I sucked on the snowball.
So that you had liquid as well. How long was this death march?
That's a good question. I wake up at night and I try to figure it out.
Yeah, because the survivors, everybody gives different witnesses.
As we were walking, we saw tanks laying on the side. Unfortunately, you stepped over dead bodies.
Right.
A lot of times, you stopped if you could, and you ripped somebody's shoes off, because like
you needed them. That's right.
You get after a while, like, I hate to tell you, I hope no person should ever go through. A lot of times I say,
Yeah, because you become immune, psychologically you become immune to the
we
kinds of
left
things.
Sosnovitz roughly with about 4,000 men. We came to the famous Mauthausen. There was thousands and thousands of people. And we were tired, we walked. We came to Mauthausen maybe with 400.
Wow. So all the people died along the way.
Along the way,
Along
you
the way.
stepped over bodies. And all of a sudden at night, an SS-man pulled me out and there was a separate room. My kids saw the block is in Mauthausen in a museum. There was a block, a bench I should say. You put your hands in and your feet was strapped in. And they started to whip me. And they said, you know why I whip you? Because we want to know why you survived. Would I have said that SS-man Wolf helped me survive? If I would have said that,
He would have been dead.
he would have been dead.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any soldiers, when you drop the bombs, they whistle. And we heard the bombs going down and down. And all of a sudden, you heard more and more. And all of a sudden, the SS disappears. I couldn't get out. I was strapped in. That Captain Wolf, SS-man Wolf, saw me going into that barrack to the room, and he knew what went on. And he unstrapped me, and he pulled me out. If he wouldn't have come, I wouldn't be sitting here today. We went out, you saw bodies lying there, which was, in the meantime, men got diarrheas and was not pleasant. After a couple of hours, all of a sudden we saw the big doors, my children saw the doors. The tanks pulled in and they knocked the doors down. And everybody who had the carcass to scream. Unfortunately, I had I had no places to scream.
But you were happy anyway.
I would say so.
Yeah.
But I was laying against the wall, like you say, a cat or a dog has many lives. That's me. I was lying on the side. I couldn't walk. A soldier came over to me. Did I know, is he a captain or what? I knew he was an SS man. How we communicate till today, I can't figure it out. He brought me a slice of bread and something else which I don't even know what it was. Eat slow, eat slow. Because the Red Cross came in and people jumped and they ate, and as you eat,
They got sick right away.
they got sick.
Right.
It was not a pleasant
So
thing.
these are the Americans you're talking about now?
At that time, I didn't know
Yeah.
Americans or whether I know Americans or not.
The Allies.
Pardon me?
They weren't the Nazis, let's put it that way.
That's for sure. We were happy.
Yeah.
Thank God that Captain Levy, why again me? I was young. He took care of me. He's a soldier, must have been a doctor. My back was all open. He bandaged me up, and the Red Cross came and they disinfected all the bags. You had to get out, they sprayed, and you weren't allowed to go in for a couple of hours. And they pulled out wagons where there was water with showers. You got undressed and they gave you some kind of schmutter, but they were clean.
And it was your first shower in 4 years?
I would say so.
Yeah? First shower in 4 years, that's really...
And little by little, I got to myself.
Good. I left out one thing that a number of people have asked me to ask you, but if you don't want to go back to this, don't. When did you have your numbers put on your arm?
In Auschwitz.
In Auschwitz. What did you do? You lined up and there was a guy who sat there and just made numbers?
Boom, 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 yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, finished.
Was there somebody standing there keeping a record with the number and the name?
No, no name.
So there was no name?
No name.
And when they
no.
called out the...
You walked through, and before you, when you got through, there were several guys sitting there, and they stamped you. Your name, no name.
They stamped you.
Yeah,
Did it hurt?
honestly
You
speaking.
don't remember, right? Good, I'm glad you don't remember.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to liberation. Does anybody want to ask something that came before liberation?
Yeah, so going back to, you're going to Auschwitz, and you're in Theresienstadt for 22 months. Is there any information coming to you, can you remember, about what lies ahead, what other people experienced?
You had no radio, you had no newspapers, nothing. You were completely cut off. You were done.
And coming to Auschwitz itself, was that a name you had heard at all? Was there any, did you hear that city's name? Was that a place that was familiar to anybody on your train? No idea.
No, you were afraid. You didn't want to think back. If you, like, you get hardened. Just like you get used to cold, you get used to hot, you get hardened. And after a while, you get selfish. If you want to or not, you get selfish.
On target.
Did you think of escaping?
I'm sorry?
Did you think of escaping?
No, no.
Yeah, that was one of my questions.
Because if somebody ran away, they caught you. I don't think ever who was in camp in camp itself. Number one, you had barbed wires, electric wires. I must say, at night, when that went on in Auschwitz, and they heard the noise, they ran out, and they wanted to, they figured they'd go through the wires. They were electric. You fell down, finished. After a while, you get used to it. What's what?
Go ahead.
If you were only in Auschwitz for one day, you said before?
I'm sorry?
You mentioned before that you were only in Auschwitz for one day?
You were only in Auschwitz for one day because.
One and a half or two, yeah, not long,
Because it was re-transported.
not long.
So why do they stamp you if do they know you were gonna be in Auschwitz for one day? Like,
Everybody, once you got in there, everybody got stamped. Unless you were on the left, you didn't get stamped. But those who were supposed to survive, everybody got a stamp, everybody.
Because if you went to the left, you were dead. Right, question.
Did you meet any people in the camps who you became like close to or who helped you?
Did you befriend anybody in the camps?
No, because you were afraid. Everybody was for himself. After a while, that's the way it's hard to explain. That's what it is. You get selfish.
In the back? Loud.
Do you remember the memory of the Red Cross coming to Theresienstadt while you were there?
Did you hear?
They didn't come to Theresienstadt. The Red
Yes, they
Cross
did.
Yes,
came
they
in.
did.
No, they supposedly did, and made instructions.
Did the Red Cross come to Theresienstadt while you were there?
No,
Any memory of it? Nothing.
no.
Guess
No.
not. Anybody else in the back? I can't see if there are any hands up. Okay, so the war is over. The Americans are in control of where you are. And you managed to get back to your town? How in heaven's name, with all of the trains going in all different directions and the war winding down, how did you get back? And also, why did you go back? People who went through what they went through ended up very often not going back to their towns.
One day, when I got a little bit stronger, I got some pictures here. Again, that Captain Levy came to me and he says, you know, tonight we have to pull out because the Russians take over
Yeah.
the certain sections.
Yes.
Do you have any idea where you want to go? And all of a sudden, a light went on, and I said, yeah. My father said to me, you will make it, we won't. Go back to your hometown. And that's what I told Captain Levy. 2 hours later, he came with some clothes, and he gave me a package of food, chocolate. The first time I ate a piece of chocolate, never forget. If it was Hershey, I don't know. And he drove me to Linz, and he went to the conductor, and he says, this man makes sure where you going? He said to München. Make sure he goes to München and make sure he gets another train to Marburg. And he took his hand on the pistol. He says, and if you don't, I'm gonna find out, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, okay.
He put me on the train. We landed, the train landed. And as I get out, there was a coal wagon open. I went into the bathroom, and I took off the shirt, and I threw it over, and I wanted to wash myself. thank God my paper I had in my pocket. I turned around to show this gown. Here I'm standing there just with a pair of pants. What did I do? I waited till somebody came in and put a shirt on top and I took it. You don't have to make notes or you don't have to do any research. Even so, you sit here and you're starting to think. I always say, this is the last time I'm doing it. But I feel it's my duty to do it, to tell the people what went on, and I hope you keep it in mind and teach it to your children and your friends. So P.S., we came to München, he got somebody's car, and he drove me to the other neighborhood, to the smaller station, which went to
The connecting train.
the connecting train to our town had no train station. So he put me on the train and I got there early in the morning, I think 7, 8 o'clock, and I had an idea where the station is. And I asked the conductor, when is the next train going? So he says, well, they just came in. People used to come in, and they worked in the town in Marburg. And all of a sudden, the conductor looked at me the way I was dressed and all. You're a Jude, you're a Jew. I said, yes. He says, a couple of days ago, was a fella here who asked the same questions. Who was it? My brother. I figured there's no other there.
Yeah.
I started to walk. I didn't wait till evening for the next train. I started to walk. When I came into the nearest town, was yet early, I saw a bicycle. I went up and I took the bicycle and I drove. When I came to our house, I knew exactly where it is. Next to it, I saw a woman, a Nazi. She was bad, coming out of the, what do you call it, the barn or whatever, with a bucket. I jumped over the fence and I took the bucket and I shoved it right over her head. I went into the house and the people in there said, yeah, but your brother is there and there. A woman who used to work for my parents or what, I don't remember exactly. She is by her sister. I went there and Martin was still sleeping and I opened up his eyes.
And he screamed. Yeah? Okay, that was wonderful. So you came back, and you took over the house, which was your house,
We chased the
with
people out.
no furniture, nothing in there, because all of your wonderful neighbors had stripped bare everything that the Jews had owned and when they were shipped off to the first camp. Okay, how long did you stay?
Just about a year.
And then realized that it was not for you.
Well, I must say, while we're doing that year, like the governor sent a chauffeur or something to our house, and he said, this gentleman wants to see you people. If he wants to see us, let him come to us. So he left. A couple hours later, he came again. Please come. So my brother and I, we went. Now, in our neighborhood, I don't think there was anything, no bombs, no nothing. The buildings all were there. Nothing was disturbed. So finally went and they're sitting on the marble table and they said, I hear you wanna leave, why don't you stay in Germany? You can start your father's business. My father never sold the house or the property, never. One piece of land he sold where he was forced on it, and I don't know what he got, I don't remember. So finally, those who know me, I got a little bit, gets excited, and I said, where were you when we all left? Why don't you take Germany and shove it? And we walked out.
Okay, now, technical question. How did all these pictures survive? This book is loaded with photographs of your family. How did the pictures survive?
How my 3 siblings who went to England took some of the pictures along.
Okay.
Even silver, we have a couple of spoons yet from my mother. We have a set of dishes from my parents, which
because
my
they went to
sister took
England then.
along.
Okay, because that's, I looked at the picture, whoa, how did this happen? Okay, well, Mr. Spier, we salute you.
Thank you.
And if I can add one final note, with your family here of 2 generations, you are testimony that you beat Hitler. Thank you. Okay, people, thank you. I'm about to cry.
No,
so-
can I?
Go ahead, you want to say?
Yes, I would like to say something. When I left Mauthausen, even so, I was brainless, but little by little, you wake up like a piece of ice, it melts after a while. I said to myself, someday I'm gonna come back. When I retired, I said to my 2 sons, I made myself a promise, someday I'm gonna go back. I couldn't go to Auschwitz. I went with my 2 sons to Theresienstadt and to Mauthausen. A couple of years later, my grandson who's sitting here said to me, why don't you go with us? Thank God we had 5 grandchildren, was impossible to go, to get them all together. We went with our 3 grandsons the same route. When we came to Mauthausen with my grandsons, there was, they call it the Steinbruch, where you had to chop the stones. In those days you had no drills. And that was 180 steps down. Like go up to Fort Worth, what is it, 32 steps?
130.
Right, 182. In the morning when they went to work, regardless how many went down, very few survived. My grandsons went down and they came back with stones. When the Jews left Israel, they took a souvenir. And my grandsons took a souvenir. Everybody in our family has one of those stones, and we had a plate made, Mauthausen 19, I don't remember the year. All I can say, regardless what happened these days, don't stand still. Fight for it, because I'm not worried about me or my children, but I'm worried about my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and every one of you should think the same way. Don't be ashamed, fight whatever goes on. I'm surprised that what went on in Pittsburgh, that not more organizations fought, made noise.
A lot of them did. No, Mr. Shri, a lot of them did. And I don't know if Betty Ehrenberg is here
No.
tonight or not. Well, her organization was definitely very much involved in what was going on.
But that's one.
No, you didn't look at the New York Times to see all the lists of the different organizations that were there. Question or comment?
A comment, a bit off topic, but I'd like to say something, if I may. I know that it's Walter's journey, but I think that, I know Carla a very long time, but it's also Carla's journey. And Carla has journeyed with Walter, this journey, for a very, very long time. And I must say that wherever Walter has gone, Carla has been by her side. And I am in awe of Carla.
Yay,
Say one thing.
No, you finished.
The cat's not spoken.
There is never a time, ever, where Carla has ever said, it's too much for me. I've heard the story before.
I'm sorry, I thought you had finished.
No, I haven't. I'm sorry, Dr. Reader. Or I've heard the story before, and I'm hearing it again. She's always going along, no matter where Walter is going, no matter where he's speaking, no matter what school, no matter where it is in Germany. So Carla, from my heart to your heart, thank you very much.
Is everybody done now? Yeah? Okay, thank you for coming. We're going to have, happy Rosh Chodesh. Let's end on a happy note. Hanukkah's coming. Thanksgiving. Right.